what's the use of a book like that? Hot days make me feel stupid, though I'm considered very bright for my age. Everyone says so.
Oh dear, I'm going to be late. Oh, will the Duchess be furious if I kept you waiting? I'm supposed to escort her to the palace garden for the Queen of Hearts croquet tournament. And from like that, the Queen is bound to chop off my head. That's the penalty for being late.
Oh, my dear, I've seen quite a few rabbits in my time, but never one that had a watch around his neck. Oh, he must have gone down that rabbit hole. Quite a large rabbit hole. Big enough for me. I'll risk it. Not marked poison, so I'll taste it. Delicious! It's got a mixed flavor of cherry tart, custard, and hot buttered toast. Delicious! Oh goodness. I feel like I'm shrinking. Oh, I don't feel more than 2 feet tall. Oh, help me! Help me, somebody help! Whoa! I've hit the bottom, or mine at any rate. Oh, there's that nice rabbit again. Oh, Mr. Rabbit, I'm lost, and I have this horrible feeling that I've been shrinking. And you look quite larger than the last time I saw you.
Oh, my ears and whiskers. I'll have to go back to the house. I forgot my gloves. Oh, the Duchess will be beside herself with fury, and the Queen of Hearts is bound to chop off my head. She'll make grab a stew of me and put me into a pie.
Make way for Her Majesty! Make way for the Queen of Hearts!
And you may go anywhere you like. Oh, well, that sounds very difficult. We had no business coming here in the first place. Yes, Your Majesty.
Hold your tongue!
I am a hungry hyena, and you are both. I beg your royal pardon. You better. Come to my barn this afternoon and play croquet. Mind your manners when you get there, and don't be late. Well, you'll be punished. Tally ho! Tally ho! Walk with their hands! And she told me to mind my temper. Walk with their hands! Oh, how very curious everything is today. Oh, there's that rabbit again. Mr. Rabbit!
Oh, it's you again. You met the Queen of Hearts, have you? I'll wait here. Sorry now that you followed me here. Did you ask if you play croquet?
Yes, and very just courteously.
I should know if I were you. It's very dangerous to play games with Her Majesty.
But she said she'd punish me severely if I didn't go.
She will. Her Majesty has a dreadful temper.
Well, Mr. Rabbit, I should start crying any minute. Would you
No
please-
time, no time. Oh, won't the Duchess be savage I've kept her waiting? No time, no time, no time.
Oh, sir, you dropped your gloves. Oh, stop crying. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. A big girl like you. You were just as usual yesterday. But you must have changed during the night. But if I'm not who I was, then who am I? No. I know. I shall try and recite a poem I used to know. A duck, a little crocodile, improve his shining tail, and pour the waters of the Nile on every golden scale. How cheerfully he seems to grin, how neatly spreads his claws, and welcomes little fishes in his gently smiling jaws. Oh, that's not right. Oh, it's getting so slippery underfoot. I'll be waiting in a pile of tears in no time. Oh, somebody help me. Oh, help, help, I'm drowning, help! Stop complaining. Oh, Mr. Mouse, oh, could you please tell me the way out of this pond? Oh, you're not listening. I know. I'll call for cats. Oh, cat! Oh, I beg your pardon.
Would you like cats if you were me?
Oh, well, you really should meet Dinah. She is a nice cat. But are you very fond of dogs? Well, there's a nice dog in my neighborhood, and the farmer says that he's really good at catching rats. Oh, please don't leave. We won't talk about cats or dogs anymore.
Let's get back to the shore. Then I'll tell you my business. You'll understand why I think cats and dogs.
You promised to tell me your history. You know, why you hate C's and D's.
My history is a long and sad tale.
Well, I can see why it's long. But why is it sad?
We live beneath the mist, warm and snug and fat. But with one woe, and that was a cat. To our joys a clog, on our eyes a fog, on our hearts a log was a dog. When the cats are away, and the mice will play. But alas, one day, so they say, came the dog and the cat, hunting for a rat. Each one, as they
gas and they're sure as carrots are carrots. Where could I drop them? Where are they? Where are they? Run home this minute and fetch me a pair of gloves. Quick now.
Wait! I have your glove right here. If only I knew what you were looking for.
Who are you?
Well, I hardly know who I am because I keep changing.
Explain yourself.
Well, I can't explain myself if I'm not myself. You see?
I don't see.
Well, being in so many different places is very confusing, and being two different sizes is bewildering. Is that any clearer?
Not a bit. Who are you?
I think you ought to tell me who you are.
Why? Come back. I've something important to say. Mind your temper.
Is that all?
No. So, you think you changed, do you?
Yes. I can't remember things I used to.
Can't remember what thing.
Well, I tried to recite how doth thy busy be, but it came out all wrong.
Repeat, you are old, Father William.
You are old, Father William, the young man said, and your hair has grown very white, and yet you incessantly stand on your head. At this age, do you think it is right? In my youth, Father William replied, I feared it would injure the brain. But now that I'm perfectly sure I have none, I do it again and again. You are old, Father William, and one would hardly suppose that your eyes were as good as ever, yet you balance an eel on the end of your nose. Now what made you so awfully clever? I have answered one question, and that is enough, said his father. Don't give yourself airs. Do you think I can listen all day to such stuff? Now go on, or I'll kick you down the stairs.
That is not said right.
Not quite right, I'm afraid.
It is wrong from beginning to end. What size do you want to be?
Well, I should be a few feet taller. 3 inches is such a wretched height to be.
It is a very good height indeed.
Well, I'm not used to it.
Whether you wish to grow taller or smaller, just break off a piece of the edge.
The edge of what?
The edge of the mushroom. It's a magic mushroom. Do as I say, girl.
This will make me grow bigger or smaller.
Whichever you like. Just nibble and wish.
Just nibble and wish.
Not now.
But when? When?
When the time comes.
When will the time come?
Oh, you'll know. Now, tell me where you're going.
I'm going to the palace to play croquet. Why are you laughing at me?
Oh, I wouldn't do that if I were you. Not if you ever want to go home.
that?
Many who go to the palace never go home at all. They lose their heads over it.
But I've done no wrong to anyone.
Oh, you'll be accused of something before the day is out. Mark my words. Let me give you some advice before you go.
Thank you.
When the time comes, choose your wish. Choose your wish, my girl.
From the Queen of Hearts, an invitation for the Duchess to play croquet. Croquet! An invitation to heaven is what that means. There's no sort of use in you knocking, and that's for 2 reasons. First, because I'm on the same side of the door as you are. Secondly, they're making such a noise in there no one could possibly hear you. Oh, but how am I to get in? There might be some sense in your knocking if there was a door between us. For instance, you're inside, you might knock, and I could let you out, you know. But how am I to get in? Are you to get in at all? That's the first question, you know? Oh, it's so dreadful how these creatures argue. It's enough to drive one mad. I shall sit here on and off for days and days. But what am I to do? Anything you like. Oh, there's no use in talking to him. I shall have to go around to the back. There's far too much pepper in that soup. Achoo! Could you tell me why your cat grins like that?
It's a Cheshire cat, that's why. Have you never heard the expression, grinning like a Cheshire cat?
I didn't know cats could grin.
They all can, and they all do.
Well, I don't know any that do.
You don't know much, and that's a fact.
Little pig, take that, it's that. Must you hit your baby like that?
Yes,
Take that, it's that, you stupid pig. Oh. I wish your cook wouldn't throw around your plates like that. She could hit the baby's precious nose.
not your business.
If everybody just minded their own business, this world would go around a deal faster. Well, no it wouldn't, because the Earth takes 24 hours to turn on its axis.
Talking of axes, chop off her head.
Or is it 12?
Oh, don't bother me. I never liked arithmetic. Speak roughly to your little boy and feed him when he sneezes. He only does it to be annoyed because he knows it teases. I speak seriously to my little boy, and I'll feed him when he sneezes, so he can thoroughly enjoy the pepper when it pleases.
Oh. May I ask you a question, Your Grace?
You never stop asking questions.
Are you going to the palace to play croquet?
I've been invited.
Oh, so have I. And I was wondering if I could come with you.
The White Rabbit is called me. You ought to find your own escort.
A little pig, here.
You can nurse it a bit if you like. There you are, Rabbit. And about time, too.
I beg your pardon, Your Grace. I was delayed.
You always are.
Oh, Mr. Rabbit, could I please come with you? I'm scared to go to the palace alone.
Better not go at all.
The Duchess is right, my dear. You see, the Queen of Hearts is already very angry with both of us. And if she sees you too, no good will come of it.
Oh, but where should I go?
Attend some other party child.
Oh.
Or at least
least I have this baby to look after. If I don't look after it, for sure ruin it. Do not grunt. That is not the proper way for a baby to express itself. Now, if you're going to act like a pig, I will have nothing to do with you. It is a pig! Oh, well, it would have made a dreadfully ugly baby, but I think it'll make a pretty handsome pig. Oh, it's getting so dark out.
Brown, meow.
Oh, Pussycat, they wouldn't take you with them to the palace. Could you tell me which way to go?
That depends on where you want to go.
I don't care where,
Then it doesn't matter which way you go.
but I must go somewhere.
Oh, you're sure to do that. If only you walk long enough.
Well, what sort of people live here?
To the east lives a Mad Hatter. To the west, a Mad March Hare. Visit either you like.
Well, I don't want to go among mad people.
Oh, you can't help that. We're all mad here. I'm mad. You're mad.
Well, how do you know I'm mad?
You must be. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here.
A strange country.
Perfectly true. No one you meet here is quite what he seems. Even to himself. That's why they call it Wonderland.
Oh, it's such a frightening place.
Nobody would harm you.
Truly.
Yes, truly. Except, of course, the Queen of Hearts. She's the most bloodthirsty monarch to ever live. Make an enemy of her, and you're doomed.
That's what I was afraid of.
Are you really going to the palace?
Well, I may. Or I may not.
If you do go, you may see me there, or you may not. What became of the baby?
It turned into a pig.
I thought so. Did you say pig or pig?
I said pig.
Tom!
And I wish you would stop appearing and vanishing so suddenly.
Bye-bye.
Oh, what a curious cat. I hear cups twinkling and people laughing. The March here must be serving tea. I hope he's not raving mad. At least not as bad as he is in March, since it's May. Oh, how uncomfortable for the poor dormouse. It's asleep, I think.
No!
Why, there's plenty of room.
Well, I'm March Hare, he the Hatter, and that sleepy thing is the Dormouse. Have some wine.
I don't see any wine.
There isn't it.
Then it wasn't very nice of you to offer it.
It wasn't nice of you to sit down without being invited.
I didn't know it was your table.
Your hair, you country.
And you should learn not to make personal remarks. It's rude.
Why is a raven like right in this?
I believe I could guess that.
Do you mean you think you could find out the answer?
Exactly so.
Then why don't you say what you mean?
I do. At least I mean what I say, and that's the same thing, you know.
Not the same thing a bit. Why, you might just as well say that I see what I eat is the same thing as I eat what I see.
You might just as well say that I like what I get is the same thing as I get what I like.
You might just as well say that I breathe when I sleep is the same thing as I sleep when I breathe.
It is the same thing for you.
What day is it? The 4th?
Too
Twinkle, twinkle, little bats, how I wonder what you're at. You know the poem, perhaps? Something like it. It goes on in this way. Up above the world you fly, like a tea tray in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, little.
Twinkle, twinkle, twinkle.
I sang that for a party once, and I barely made it to the first verse when the queen rolled out. He's killing time! Off with his head! He's killing time! Savage! Ever since Father Time won't do a thing I ask, it's always 4 o'clock by my watch. Is that why there's so many teacups? Yes, it's always tea time. We've no time to wash the cups in between. So I suppose you just move down. Exactly so, as things get used up. But what happens when you get to the beginning again?
Suppose we change the subject. I hope the young lady tells us a story.
Well, I'm afraid I don't know one.
Then the doormat shall. Wake up, dormouse.
I wasn't asleep.
Tell us a story.
Oh, yes, please do. And be quick about it, or you'll be asleep before it's done.
Once upon a time, there were 3 little sisters, and their names were Elsie, and Lacey, and Tilly. And they lived at the bottom of the well.
What do they live on?
They lived on maple syrup,
Oh, then they must have been very ill.
so they were very ill.
Absolutely.
I couldn't have more because I haven't had any at all. You mean you can't have less? It's very easy to have more than nothing. And no one asked for your opinion. Who's making personal remarks now? Why do they live at the bottom of the well?
It was a syrup well.
There's no such thing.
If you can't be polite, you better finish the story yourself.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And so, these 3 little sisters, they were learning to draw, you know.
But what sort of things did they draw?
Maple syrup.
I want a clean cup. Let's all move one place. Well, where did they draw the syrup from?
You can draw water out of a water well, so you think you can draw syrup out of a syrup well, huh, stupid?
But they were in the well.
Of course they were. Well in. They were learning to draw. They draw manner of things. That begins with
Well, why was it in?
Why not?
that begins with an M, such as mousetraps and the moon, and memory, and muchness. You know you say things that are much and muchness. Have you ever seen us do a drawing of a muchness?
Oh, really? Now you ask me? Well, I will.
Then you should not talk about it!
You are much too rude. I should have never taken tea with you. I should have went to the Queen's garden party.
Do you mean to say that you were invited to play croquet?
I was. And you didn't go. I haven't yet.
Then you must go. You must go now.
Don't put another sentence. Just go.
You know what can happen to us?
If you have antagonized Her Majesty, heads will roll.
Heads will roll.
Well, how do I get to the palace?
Go up the hill, you find a big mulberry bush.
Then you go around the mulberry bush.
See the palace in the royal
You
coquet.
can't possibly miss it. Go on, hurry.
Hurry,
The queen's
hurry,
waiting.
hurry.
You
I
must
want
be
to
late.
Oh, please don't jump on my head.
What's out now, dude? Don't as much as paint over me like
morning. Alice, to be short. And who are these? How should I know? Is it your croquet garden? Off with their heads!
Consider, my dear, she is only a child.
I forgive you on the grounds of youth. Turn them over!
I mean, yes, Your Royal Majesty.
Get them on their feet, the miserable wretches! Stop that ridiculous babble! You make me giddy. Now what have you been doing here?
Please, Your Majesty, we were just...
Off with their heads! Take them away! Do you play croquet, my dear? Yes, Your Majesty. Come along, then. In my court, you've some mean nose for malice. So amusing, don't you agree? Is she really going to chop off their heads?
Well, yes. Fine day, isn't it?
I suppose. But where's the Duchess?
She's going to be executed.
Oh, good gracious, what for?
She punched torn apart to the nose. Quiet! The Queen would hear you. You see, the Duchess was late to the party, and the Queen was furious.
Oh, oh, with his head! Mr. Rabbit, would you please? Oh, with everyone's head! Could you please tell me how to go home?
What a temper! Home? Home? Ask the Queen. She'll know.
Oh, I don't dare! Oh, Your Majesty.
Ask the Duchess. She'll know, but I don't know if she'll tell you. She's too upset about losing her head.
Rabbit, that rabbit! Rabbit, I want you!
Coming!
You can't think how glad I am to see you again, you old thing. You're thinking again, my dear, and that makes me fear to talk. I can't quite think what the moral of that is, but I shall remember her shortly. The Queen is going to chop off your head. What's the moral in that? Tut, tut, child. Everything's got a moral if you can find it. How are you getting on? How do you like the Queen? Oh, not at all. She's very fond of beheading people, and the question is if there's anyone left alive. Did you not enjoy croquet? Not the way they play it here. What do you think of me, my dear? Well, when I'm a duchess, I won't have any pepper in my kitchen at all. Maybe it's pepper that makes people hot-tempered, and vinegar that makes them sour, and sugar cookies that make children sweet-tempered. I'm so frightened. I've never lost my head before. And the moral of this is, love makes the world go around. Oh, there, how fond you are of finding morals in things. You're wondering why I don't put my arm around you. The thing is, I'm worried about the temper of your flamingo. Shall I try an experiment? He might bite. Very true. Flamingos and mustard, they both bite. And the moral of that is, birds of a feather flock together. Except mustard isn't a bird. You're right. What a clear way you just have of putting things. It's a mineral, I think. Of course it is. And there's a mineral mine right around here. And the moral of that is, the more there is of mine, the less there is of yours. I think I'd understand that better if I had it written down. That's nothing to what I could say.
your head.
Well, where does he live?
Forest.
But I thought he was a turtle.
Don't think too much about it.
What does he look like?
Ugly.
Oh. Is that why he's crying?
It's all in his head. Come on. This here young lady wants to hear your stories.
I'll tell her. Sit down and don't speak a word until I finish. Once, I was a real turtle. When we were little, we went to school in the sea. The master was an old turtle. We used to call him Tortoise.
Well, why do you call him Tortoise? He wasn't one.
We called him Tortoise because he was a teacher and he bored us. Really, you are very dull.
You ought to be ashamed of yourself for asking such a question.
We went to school in the sea, though you may believe it.
I never said I didn't.
You,
Hold your tongue.
we had the best of educations. In fact, we went to school every day.
I've been to day school too. You needn't feel proud of all that.
With extras
Yes, French and music.
and washing.
Certainly not.
Ah, then yours wasn't really good school. Now, at our school, we had French, music, and washing extra.
Well, you shouldn't need it much. Living under the sea.
I couldn't afford to learn it. I had to take the regular course.
And what was that?
Reading and writing, of course, to begin with, and then the different branches of arithmetic: ambition, abstraction, multiplication, and division.
I've never heard of uglification.
Never heard of uglification. Surely you know what to beautify is.
Of course I do. It means to make anything prettier.
Then, if you don't know what to uglify is, you are a simpleton.
How many hours a day did you attend school?
10 hours the first day, 9 the next, and so on.
What a curious plan.
It's why they're called lessons. They lesson from day to day.
So then, the 11th day must have been a holiday?
Of course it was.
But then how did you manage on the 12th?
And now, tell her about the games, will you?
You may not have lived much under the sea,
I haven't.
and perhaps you were never introduced to the lobster.
Well, I once tasted... No, never.
Then you have no idea what a delightful thing a lobster quadrille is. Quadrille.
Isn't that a dance?
Would you like to see a little of it?
Oh, yes, please.
Come, let's dance the lobster quadrille. It can be managed without lobsters, don't you know?
But will the queen allow it?
We will tell her.
You sing, I forgot the words.
Will you walk a little faster? Said a whiting to a snail. There's a porpoise close behind us and he's treading on my tail. See how eagerly the lobsters and the turtles all advance. They're waiting on the sea. Oh, will you come and join the dance? Will you, won't you, will you, won't you, will you join the dance? Will you, won't you, will you, won't you join the dance?
because it polishes our boots.
The whiting polishes your boots?
What are yours done with?
Blacking, I believe.
Well, under the sea, all of our boots are polished with white. Now you know.
And what are they made of?
Soles and eels, of course, and shrimp.
If I would have been the whiting the song, I would have told the porpoise to keep that. We don't want you with us.
No wise fish would go anywhere without porpoise.
Wouldn't it really?
Of course not. If a fish came to me and told me he was going on a journey, I would say, with what porpoise?
Enough. Would you like to hear another song or do another game?
What was on, please?
No accounting for personal tastes. Sing with me one about turtle soup, will you?
Soup of the evening, beautiful soup, beautiful soup, beautiful soup. Soup of the evening, beautiful soup.
You're under arrest.
I am?
And what you say will be in the Infield.
What am I arrested for?
The neighbor parts, he stole some parts. And you are suspected of being a necessity after the fact.
But I never met the neighbor parts.
Come along, quietly, or you shall be beheaded. March! Hear ye, the trial's beginning, the trial's beginning.
Oh, I wish they'd get this trial over with and pass those parts. They look delicious.
Silence in court. I would like to say that I am completely innocent of the charges brought against me. Ah! What did I say?
Trial's in court.
Harold, read the accusation.
The Queen of Hearts, she made some tarts, all on a summer day. The Knave of Hearts, he stole those tarts and took them quite away.
And I had nothing to do with it.
Consider your verdict.
Not yet, not yet. There's a great deal to come before them.
Then you may call your first witness.
First witness, Mad Hatter, Mad Hatter.
Hurry up! We haven't done nothing! I beg your pardon, your majesty. It isn't respectable to beg. I'm sorry for bringing this in. I hadn't quite finished my tea. Well, when did you begin? March, I think it was.
Actually, it was 50.
Write that down!
Trial's in court.
Witness, take off your hat! Neither mine! I'm a poor man, your majesty. Red lantern was so expensive, and the twinkling of a tea tray.
The twinkling of what?
It began with the tea.
Of course, twinkling begins with a T. What do you take me for? A dunce? If that is all, you may stand down.
I can't go any lower. I'm on the floor as it is.
Then you may sit down.
I'd rather go home and finish my tea.
You may go.
Mark my word. She is a very peculiar young girl. Just the kind to go around
Stealing other people's toys!
Suspicious! Very suspicious! She said at home she often helped herself to tarts without permission. I think the girl ought to be beheaded on principle.
Consider your verdict.
There's a great deal to come before that, your majesty. I've just been handed this paper. Said a version.
Suspicious!
Is it in the handwriting of either prisoner?
Not in mine.
Not in mine.
Shall I read it anyway, your majesty?
Begin at the beginning and go on to the end. Then stop.
They told me you'd been to her and mentioned me to him. She gave me a good character, but said I could not swim.
This is the most important piece of evidence we've heard. Let the jury proceed.
Well, if any of the jury can explain it, I'll give them 6 pence. I don't believe there's an atom of meaning in it.
She doesn't believe there's an atom of meaning in it.
I seem to see some meaning in it. I said I could not swim. Can you swim?
Do I look like I could?
You heard him confess. Consider your verdict.
That's illegal. Hold your tongue. Alice, I said hold your tongue. I won't. I said hold your tongue. Now I won't do it. Off with your head!
Off with her head!
Off with your head! Off with your head!
Off with her head!
Rabbit, that is hell.
You love the head.
Off with your head!
Off with her
No,
head!
you can't do this to me. I'm not afraid of you. You're just a pack of cards. Oh no! Help! Ah! No! Somebody help me! Help! I think this may take about 15 minutes. Go!
Hey Gavin. I'll eat the whole one. I'll eat the whole one.
robes, did grind the grimble in the wade, all nimsy were the word rose, and the moan's wrath outraged. Beware the jabberwock, my son, the jaws that bite, the claws that catch. Beware the jub-jub bird, and shun the fruitless bandersnatch. And as in the uppish thought he stood, the jabberwock, with eyes aflame, came whistling through the tulgey wood, and burbled as it came. 1, 2, 1, 2, and through and through. The vorpal blade went snicker-snack, he left it dead, and with his head, he went galumphing back. Doesn't make any sense.
Does to me. Perhaps we should run to them and clear away the cobwebs.
Well, no thank you. I've had quite enough run. I'm very hot, thirsty.
Have a drink. While you're refreshing yourself, I'll just take the measurements. At the end of 2 yards, I shall give you your directions. Have another biscuit?
No, thank you. One was quite enough.
There's quench now. Oh, I shall paste them before them. 3, 4, and I must say goodbye at the end of 5. Here's how to cross the chessboard. Listen. Pawn goes 2 squares at the first move, you know. Then you go very quickly through the 3rd square. Then you'll find yourself in the 4th square in no time. That square belongs to Tweedledum and Tweedledee. The 5th is mostly water. And the 6th belongs to Humpty Dumpty. You'll have to deal with him however you can. Have nothing to say.
I didn't know I was supposed to say anything just then.
The 7th is all forest. And in the 8th will be queens together. It's all feasting and fun. Off we go.
Oh, she can't run very fast.
Goodbye, my little dear.
You think we're statues? You don't hey, you know. Statues aren't made to be looked at for nothing, no-how.
On the other hand, if you think we're alive, you ought to speak.
Oh, I'm very sorry.
I know what you're thinking, but is it so, no-how?
Contrariwise, if it was so, it could be. If it were so, it would be. And if it isn't, it ain't. That's logic.
Well, I was thinking which would be the best way to cross the chessboard.
You like poetry?
Some poetry.
What should recite to her?
The walrus and the carpenter, that's the longest.
Oh, if it's very long, would you please tell me which way to go first?
Sit down and listen. The walrus and the carpenter were walking on the strand. They wept like anything to see, such quantities of sand. If the way were cleared, they said it would be grand. Sit down!
O oysters, come and walk with us, the walrus did beseech. A pleasant walk, a pleasant talk along the briny beach. If we can do more than 4 to give a hand to each.
Sit down! Four little oysters hurried up, all eager for a treat. Their coats were brushed, their faces washed, their shoes were clean and neat. And this was odd because you know they hadn't any feet. Sit down!
a row.
Sit down.
The time has come, the walrus said, to talk of many things, of shoes and ships and sealing wax and cabbages and kings, and why the sea is boiling in pots and whether pigs have wings.
Sit down. A loaf of bread, the walrus said, is what we chiefly need. Pepper and vinegar besides are very good indeed. Now if you're ready, oysters dear, we can begin to feed. How much longer? Sit down.
But not enough, the oysters cried, turning a little blue. After such kindness said these dismal things to do. The night is fine, the walrus said. Do you admire the view?
Sit down. It seems a shame, the walrus said, to play them such a trick. After he brought them so far and made them chout so quick, the carpenter said nothing but the butter spread too thick. Sit down.
I weep for you, the walrus said. I deeply sympathize. With sobs and tears he sorted out those of the largest size, holding his pocket handkerchief before his streaming eyes. One more verse. Oh, oyster, said the carpenter, you've had a pleasant run. Shall we be trotting home again? But answers came there none. And this was scarcely odd because they'd eaten everyone.
I like the walrus for that, because he was a little sorry for the poor oyster. He ate more than the carpenter though. He held his pocket handkerchief in front so the carpenter couldn't see how many he had took. Oh, and that was a very unpleasant tale. Now, would you please tell me which way to go? It's getting dark and I think it's going to rain.
Don't get wet.
Oh, such dreadful creatures. Oh, I'm lost, and I do so need help. Someone Shaw has been wrong. Bread and butter, bread and butter, bread and butter. Oh, am I addressing the White Queen? I call it undressing. Well, may I put your shawl straight for you? It's all out of temper. I pinned it here, I pinned it there, but there's just no pleasing it. Well, if you pin it all on one side, it's going to be crooked. Oh, my dear, what state your hair is in? The brush got entangled in it. I lost the comb yesterday. That's a little better. But really, you should get a lady name. That's very sweet. I'll hire you with pleasure. Tuppence once a week and jam every other day. No, I don't want you to hire me. And I'm not very fond of jam. But could you just please tell me which way to go? It's very good jam. Well, I don't want any today. You couldn't even if you wanted to. The rule is jam tomorrow, jam yesterday, but never jam today. But it must come to jam today sometime. No, it can't. That's not the way it works. But I don't understand. That's the effect of living backwards. It makes one a little giddy. I've never heard of living backwards. One's memory has one great advantage. It works both ways. Well, my memory only works one way. It's poor memory that only works backwards. Well, what sort of things do you remember best? Things that happen the week after next. For instance, now, the Queen's messenger is serving in prison, and the trial won't start till next week. And of course, the crime comes last of all. But suppose he never commits the crime. That would be all the better, wouldn't it? Well, of course it would be all the better. But not if he was still being punished. You're wrong there at any rate. I know. Ow, ow! Oh, have you cut your finger? Not yet, but I soon shall. Oh, when? When I go to pin my shawl again, the pin will come again. Oh, oh! Well, let me help you. See, that accounts for the bleeding. Now you understand the way things work around here. But why aren't you screaming now? Well, I've done all the screaming already. What would be the point in doing it again? Oh, well, I'm glad it's getting lighter. I thought it was going to rain. It must be nice being able to be managed being glad whenever you like. It is. Except not here. It's very different, and that makes me sad.
can't believe impossible things.
When I was your age, I believed as many as 6 impossible things before breakfast.
Oh, well, I hope your finger's better now.
Oh, much better. Better. Better and bread. Bread and butter. Bread and butter. Bread and butter.
Oh, wait, I need directions.
That's that girl reached the 8th square. I'm determined that she will not be crowned a queen.
I won't, my dear, I won't.
Well then, stir your stuff!
Humpty Dumpty, it looks exactly like an egg. It's very provoking to be called an egg.
Well, I said you looked like an egg. And some eggs are very pretty, you know.
And some people have no more sense than a baby.
Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall. Humpty Dumpty had a brick wall. All the king's horses, all the king's men couldn't put Humpty Dumpty back together again. And the last line is far too long for the poetry.
Don't stand chattering to yourself. Tell me your name and your business.
Oh, my name is Alice, and I'm crossing the chessboard to become a queen.
Alice? That's a stupid name. What does it mean?
Does a name have to mean something?
Of course! My name means the shape that I am. In a very handsome shape it is to be. With a name like yours, you might be any shape.
Why do you sit on the wall all alone?
Why? Because there's nobody with me. Did you think I didn't know the answer to that? Ask me another.
Well, don't you think you'd be safer on the ground?
Of course I know. Even if I did fall off, which there's no chance of, the king himself has promised.
To send all of his horses and all of his men to put you together again.
You've been listening to what's in here.
No, I haven't. It's in a book. Oh, what a beautiful belt you've got on. Where's the bow tie? Oh, I wish I knew which was his waist and which was his neck.
It is most provoking to not know the difference between a belt and a bow tie.
I'm sorry.
It's a tie, child. It was given to me from the White Queen herself.
Was it really?
It was given to me for an unbirthday present.
What's an unbirthday present?
A present given to you when it isn't your birthday?
I like birthday presents the best.
You don't know what you're talking about. How many days are there in a year?
365.
And how many birthdays have you?
1.
And if you take 1 from 365, what remains?
Well, 364, of course.
That shows that there are 364 days when you might get an unbirthday present. There's glory for you.
What do you... I don't know what you mean by glory.
Of course you don't. I meant there's a nice knockdown argument for you.
But glory doesn't mean a nice knockdown argument.
When I use a word, it means what I choose it to be. Neither more nor less.
The question is whether you can make words mean different things.
The question is which is to be mastered. Impenetrability. That's what I say.
If you're so good at describing words, could you please tell me what the poem Jabberwocky means?
I could if I choose. I could explain all the poems that were ever invented. A good many that haven't yet, but instead
that's your advice?
The important part is coming. Then someone came to me and said, the little kisses are in bed. I took a corkscrew from the shelf. I went to wake him up myself. But when I found the door was locked, I pushed and pulled and kicked it off. But when I found the door was shut, I tried to turn the handle, but...
Is that all?
So my advice is... Run! Run for your life! What is the way to work? Run!
Well, Alice, I guess your story's come to an unfortunate end. But it's not there be an unfortunate beginning. Off with her head!
Stop! I command you to stop.
Off with her head! Oh, Robin, help!
Alice, stand perfectly still.
Oh, help me!
Stand still.
All hail Queen Alice! What? All hail Queen Alice!
Hip, hip,
Hooray! That's the meeting!
hip, hip.
Hooray!
This must be the 8th square now!
Yes, you crossed the chessboard, and now you can do what you like.
Oh, I never thought I'd be a queen. If I really am a queen.
I invite you to Queen Alice's dinner party this afternoon, and I invite you, Your Majesty.
I didn't know I was to have a dinner party at all. But if I am, shouldn't I invite the guests?
The guests have already been invited, and we must hurry before they fall asleep. You know how they feel. Oh, sleepy. Oh, she's tired. Poor thing. Smooth her hair, lend her your nightcap, and sing her a soothing lullaby.
I don't have a nightcap with me, and I don't know any soothing lullabies.
Oh, my ears and whiskers. We're going to be late. Come along, your royal majesties.
We missed all the soup and the fish. Bring on the bucket. I drink to Queen Alice's health. To Queen Alice's health.
Well, my girl, I did give you a fight. I was hot on your heels from square to square. I was determined to chop off your head before you ever set your crown on it. But it's too late to remedy matters now, so you may go safely home whenever you like.
Now that we're right to health, you ought to return thanks in a neat little speech.
To Looking Glass Land. Now let it be said, have a scepter in hand, and crown on my head, to the Looking Glass creatures, whatever they be, cut and dye, with the Red Queen, the White Queen, and me,
So fill up your glasses as quick as you can.
and sprinkle the table with buttons and bread.
Put cats in the coffee and mice in the tea.
And welcome Queen Alice with 30 times 3.
With 30 times 3. With 30 times 3. And welcome Queen Alice with 30 times 3.
Oh, Looking Glass world, I beg you to draw near. It was a favor to have you, it was a pleasure to hear, it was a privilege high to have dinner and tea, along with the Red Queen, the White Queen, and me.
So fill up your glasses with syrup and egg.
And anything else that is pleasant to drink.
It's sand with the cider and wool with the wine.
And welcome Queen Alice with 90 times 9.
With 90 times 9. With 90